Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, walaikum assalam.
How's it going, man?
Hey, Mohammed, thanks for being on, man.
No
We've
problem.
got 9 people already joined us.
Oh,
No, it's
wow.
27, all the way from 9 to 27 in just
MashaAllah.
seconds. Awesome.
Awesome. Let me just share the slides, make sure that that's working. It's 12 o'clock on the dot. Abdullah, it's all yours. Bismillah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasul al-Kareem. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, bless your day, or bless your night, wherever you are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this gathering to be one that has the angels in it and has His barakah in it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us not to leave this gathering without having benefited from each other, benefited from Muhammad, benefited from knowing what is good and acting upon it. So really, welcome to every single one of you. Really, really excited to have Muhammad on A Continuous Charity's first webinar partnership with Productive Muslims. So really appreciate it. Thanks, Muhammad.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Jazakumullah khair. And salam to everyone.
Yeah. Let me just tell you a little bit about Mohammed Faris if you don't already know. MashaAllah. I'm a fan of Mohammed Faris from a long time ago. Alhamdulillah. But he was born in Tanzania, grew up in Saudi and the UK, and now lives in Dallas, Texas. And guess what? That's where I met him recently because I live in Dallas, Texas too. Alhamdulillah.
Awesome.
The founder and CEO of the Productive Muslim Company, an author of the Productive Muslim, where faith meets productivity. Awesome book. I recommend you guys to get it for yourselves. Also, audiobook is available. So I've been listening to the audiobook, alhamdulillah. Executive coach, international coach, federation, mashallah, and his life mission to harness the power of faith and peak performance science to help you live the best version of themselves, to help us to live the best versions of ourselves, spiritually, physically, and socially. And that's what the webinar is all about, alhamdulillah. Awesome.
All right. So tell us more about ACC, my friend.
So A Continuous Charity, it's a relatively new concept. Alhamdulillah, we've been around for about 5 years. I've had the pleasure now to serve as the executive director at A Continuous Charity. A Continuous Charity, the best way to put it is it's a co-op, it's a pool of money. So imagine Muslims from all over. This currently only exists in the US, but inshallah you can participate as well. It doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. So Muslims from all over, they're putting money into a pool. Now, this is called the co-op. Now, this co-op then loans money to students that are going to school in the US. Tuition here in the United States is very expensive. Muslims in the United States, yes, they do earn, but not all can afford their tuition without interest. We don't want them to be in debt. The first step in their major step in their life as they're coming out of college to be in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. The average American has a $40,000 debt on average in 2018 as they graduate college. And 44 million Americans owe $1.5 trillion to private lenders, to the government, to the colleges, as far as their loans. So it's a student debt crisis. And, honestly, it's a sort of financial slavery, right? So when you get out of college, you should go to work and earn. But as you're earning, all your money is going to these lenders, these big banks that want interest from you. So we said, okay, let's create a system, a separate financial system, a Muslim system. And that's what A Continuous Charity is. It currently operates in the US, and if you're anywhere in the world and you want to participate in A Continuous Charity, you certainly can. You can create your own chapter. Email us at secretary@acceducate.org to get the conversation started. So we've got 4 ways of supporting ACC. Of course, you can go ahead and donate. Go check out the website, acceducate.org. If you have the financial capacity, even if you give $1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your intentions. It's not about how much the cause needs, it's about how much, your niyyah and your intention counts the most. Number 2, if you're a student in the United States, apply. Our applications open up January 15th. If you're truly in need of financial assistance, you can't afford your college without taking an interest-bearing loan, contact us, apply. January 15th application should be open, inshallah. And check out the website, check out the Facebook page. Number 3, doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you like this concept, if you want to start this in your own community, you want to fund higher education for Muslims in your own community, email us at secretary@acceducate.org. That's misspelled. That's okay. It's acceducate.org. Number 4, if you are successful in your career, wherever you are in the world, alhamdulillah, you've made it. You've gotten educated. You've started a business, you work in a profession, you're a doctor, engineer, scientist, anything. You are in a career and you want to give back, email us and tell us that you want to give back and you want to mentor students, and we'll put you in touch with students to start mentoring them. We have a framework through which you can mentor students. Again, email us. My personal email is actually asayed. My name is Abdullah Sayed. My email is asayed@acceducate.org. Enough about ACC. I want you guys to learn from Mohammed Faris. And Mohammed Faris, take it over, man.
All right, just type your email inside the chat and maybe you put the correct email. Sorry for the misspell there.
It is correct, yes, alhamdulillah.
Awesome. So, جزاكم الله خير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So as mentioned, I'm here honestly to support Abdullah Said and ACC Charity because they're doing work that is unique, that works. They did mention that actually in the last 5 years, they've actually helped about 121 students get higher education free of interest and basically a life full of barakat. And it's such a powerful concept. It works, it's sustainable. This is one of the most important thing about this, what is charity. It's not just about continuously, sometimes, this money is kind of going around the community and supporting the students and say a sustainable model. And you mentioned, if you want to take this model to any parts of the world, really, please connect with them because I think it's very, very powerful. So that's why I'm here. And Abdullah reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to do a partnership with webinars? I said, sure. I'd love to support you guys and do this. So the question though for you is, why are you here? So why did you attend this webinar? When we sent the email out, when Abdullah sent the email out to ACC list, what made you think, I need to attend this webinar? I really need this time of the year, or I really need this concept. What is it about this webinar about, developing U 2.0 that attracted you, said, I really need to attend this webinar? So just type in the chat, what made you sign up for this webinar? What made you, think like, this is really powerful. I need to make sure that I attend live. So just type in your chat, please. I'd like to hear your thoughts on why you attend this webinar. So go ahead. I'll be silent until I see some stuff in the chat, inshallah. We've got 112 people sign in, so bismillah. All right, Adi from Pakistan, Jazakallah khair. So you're so interested in the book. All right, you want to go to 2.0, looks like from his perspective. All right. So Isra wants to know about time organizing. All right. Organized life. Okie dokes. Iqra. Okay. What else? Why are you here? Okay, interesting. So best version of yourself is not really working in the moment. All right, so this is going to be powerful. I think hopefully this will help you perhaps think of it differently. And maybe this is one of the reasons what makes this webinar attended. Make changes, organize your life. Jazakallah khair, wahbi. Be a better Muslimah. And okay, change yourself, get clear focus, improve yourself. Want to get hold of my life. Awesome. Graduating, it's all messy. All right. We all know how that feeling being messy. All right. Awesome, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. Okay, so you've all come here with the intention that something's got to change, right? You've all come here with the intention that, I need to upgrade myself. I need to, operate at a higher level. I need to change. I cannot just be the same person. I cannot continue being the same person for the next 5, 10, 15, even the next 12 months. So if that's your intention, and I hope that's your intention, if that's your intention, then I want you to promise me 2 things. First thing I want you to promise me to do is I want you to stick around till the end of this webinar. Don't just, disappear halfway through and get bored. I know it's hard to watch a 1-hour webinar. I promise to stay on time. If I go over time, shoot me. But just don't. But, stay till the end of the webinar and to get the most out of it. Don't just, disappear halfway through. Second thing I want you to promise me is I want you to promise me that you will actually take some actionable steps after this webinar. This webinar is not about having a nice motivational speak, inshallah, talk to you and make you feel good. I want you to take action. So have pen and paper. Grab your pen and paper, grab whatever you need to grab, and sit down, turn off those distractions, turn off those, cell phones, put away your phones, whatever it needs to take, and really just focus. Just 1 hour, inshallah ta'ala. I pray, my niyyah is it makes a difference in your life. This is my niyyah, inshallah ta'ala. I don't want this to be a waste of time for you or for me. I want to make sure this is something that's an investment for yourself, inshallah. All right, okay, Abdullah says done, awesome. So you guys are all set to make sure that you guys are ready, inshallah ta'ala. So what I want us to go back to this concept of, we were very careful in choosing the words of this webinar. Say, design the next best version of yourself, right? The key word here is the next best version of yourself. And I want to bring an example of, and how many of you remember the first iPhone? Were you there in 2007 when, Abdullah, were you there in 2007 when Steve Jobs, like roses, you watched that live event?
Yeah, I was, alhamdulillah.
Awesome, right? You remember that feeling where I remember I was sitting in my dorm room that time and I was like watching a live Apple event and Steve Jobs coming out with the 2007 first iPhone. And I was like, oh my God, right? We were all going crazy about it, right? Now imagine if for some reason Apple introduced that phone, the 2007 iPhone today. What would happen? What would happen if he introduced that phone today? Like what would be our reaction? Like the global reaction, like, Like, seriously, like you're gonna use like that old crappy phone that probably did not have like a 2-hour battery life today, where things have way moved ahead. So the key message here is that at that time, that was the best version. At that time, if you think about it, that was the best version of, of the phone at that time. 2007, like, it was mind blowing, right? You can touch your phone. Are you crazy? That was mind blowing. But now that's like, yeah, of course, that's exactly what I had in mind. So the question is, sometimes we have the same issue with ourselves. Sometimes when we think about our best version, we think, oh yeah, I want to become a memorizer of Quran. I want to become a successful businessman. I want to become a millionaire. I want to become, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z. Like, you have this, you set the best version of yourself from day one. And then when you don't achieve that, you get disappointed. You're like, I don't know, man, it's not going to work. I don't know, it's too hard. I don't know, I can't do this. It's too much, right? We set the best version from day one, and then we struggle because we can't see ourselves getting there even. It's like, how on earth will I even get there? Instead, what I want you to think about is, what's your next best version? What is your next best version? What this means is, like, think about it this way. If I'm version 1.0 today, don't think of 2.0 yet. I mean, I know the website says you 2.0. I'm thinking, what's 1.1? What's 1.1, right? It's about getting yourself up to that next best version. Now, what does that mean on a spiritual level? What does that mean on a physical level? What does that mean on a social level in terms of relationships? What does that mean on a professional level? What does that mean on a financial level? What is that next upgrade? Upgrade is not a change of, it's not a complete new revolutionary design of you. It's saying, what's the next best version? Because the moment you set yourself the next best version, you're 10 times more likely to achieve it. And guess what? Something really powerful happens. You create a success momentum. You start moving really, really fast to achieve your goals and make it very, very possible. So the next best version, this idea of having, designing the next best version, is to be very clear in your mind. It's not about designing the ultimate version. Sometimes we set ourselves too high. I want to be praying tahajjud every night. I want to be praying. I want to be doing, X, Y, and Z. We set these amazing goals, but then, who are we kidding, right? January 1st comes, or Ramadan comes, or any kind of special period comes in our lives, and first few months we're excited, and after that, it's too much work. I can't do it. I can't keep up, because we tried to upgrade too fast, too soon, too much. But if you upgrade the next best version, it's much more likely that you will upgrade, and you'll stick to that next upgrade, and then you do the next upgrade, and the next upgrade, and the next upgrade. So over 10 years, that's how you achieve overnight success. Over 10 years, that's how you become a alim or a scholar or a hafiz of the Quran. Over 10 years, that's how you become a profession who everyone respects. Over 10 years, you become a writer and author everyone admires. Over 10 years, you start a business that actually generates the income that you're looking for, and you give sadaqah to whoever you want. That's what we're talking about, how to design the next best version. So I'll do a quick checkpoint. Does this make sense? Is this all clear, guys? Yes, yes, no, no, just let me know. Does this make sense so far? Remember, I want you to the next best version, not overcome. Don't go crazy to the 2.0. All right, awesome. So the next question is now, well, let's think about it this way. Now the question is, what does this next best version look like for me, right? So I want you to think about it, and this is very important. It's not about the next best version, overall. Like, it's not about you comparing yourself to others. It's saying, let's say, mashallah, let's say you have a friend or brother or sister or a parent or a teacher who's, mashallah, doing amazing, who's like on a spiritual level, physical level, social level. They're incredible. Like, they're like way, like, 10 versions down the road. For you, it's not about saying, I want to be like that person. It's saying, no, look at myself, where I am today. What's my next best version? What's that next step I need to take on a spiritual level? What does it look like? And I want you to really sit down, and this is the kind of the homework for today, is really think down, what does that mean spiritually? For example, you might think, what? Alhamdulillah, I pray 5 times a day. Or maybe I don't pray 5 times a day. Then, okay, what's the next best version? I should pray 5 times a day. Okay, let's say you do pray 5 times a day. What's the next best version? I should maybe stay after prayer and do the adhkar. Okay, maybe I do the adhkar and pray. What's the next best version? Maybe I should pray the sunnah prayers. Okay, maybe I do sunnah prayers and I do my adhkar and I do pray 5 times a day. What's the next best version? Maybe I should pray in the masjid. Okay, what's the next best version? Maybe I should wake up for qiyam. What's the next best version? I should maybe do more qiyam. So you see, it's a continuous self-development. Think of physically, right? Maybe you want to lose weight, or you want to, be fit, you want to healthy. What's the next best version for me? If I lose this amount, this is really good for me. Okay, what's the next best version? And you start developing yourself. So I want you to think, what's the next, on a social level, your relationship, let's say your spouse or your children, your parents or your neighbors, maybe the next best version of you socially is to know what the name of your neighbor is. If you know their name, like, wow, that's amazing. Maybe the next best version for you on a social level is to never get upset, never to get angry or, at your children, for example. Maybe the next best version for you is to, is that you and your wife have a peaceful time together. You maybe spend some quality time together at least once a week, if with all the kids and work and all that stuff. So what is that next best version across your roles? So think about this. One of the ways I want to do this, and let me see if I'm going to be risking here. God help me. All right, I want you guys got a pen and paper? You guys got a pen and paper? Make sure you guys got a pen and paper. So, all right, good. So can you see my whiteboard? Can you see my whiteboard? Yes, no, yes. All right, okay, I'm gonna use pink, so excuse me, sorry, no, I'm getting in touch with my feminine side. So, all right, so you got a pink there graph. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to basically think on this level. On the left-hand side, you have your performance. Performance means basically how well you're performing, and I'll explain in a minute. And this goes from like 0 to 100, okay? So it goes from 0, let me do this, from 0 to, is that 0? No, that's O. It goes 0 to 100. All right. And then the bottom side here is gonna be what I say your roles. Your roles mean, example, think of the roles you play in life. Give me examples of roles you play in life. What are the roles you play in life? Son, yes, what else? Son, father, brother, husband, friend, wife, daughter, uncle, auntie, okay? Neighbor, team member, coworker, colleague, volunteer, employee, yeah, business owner, CEO. Yes, these are neighbor, like so many roles, right? We play so many roles in our life. Serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, beautiful Aisha, right? So these are all the roles we play. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to spend about, literally 3-4 minutes, and I'll be, again, going silent. What I want you to do is to draw into almost like a bar graph, okay? A bar graph is how well am I performing, for example, let's say this is as a father. How well am I performing, for example, as a mother? How well am I performing as a son? So just sit down and draw a bar graph from 0 to 100 for at least 3-5 of your roles: as a Muslim, as a neighbor, as a son, as a daughter, as a husband, as a wife, as an uncle, as an auntie, as a grandparent, father, as a grandmother, if you're as an employee. How well performing? So from 0 to 100 is very subjective. It's not rocket science. It's not about how to be scientific and perfect. Just you yourself ask yourself, how well am I performing? Like what's my performance level like? So spend 3 minutes. I'm gonna sort of pause here, and of course, if you have any questions, feel free to pop in. But just 3 minutes, just draw this and quickly just jot down your thoughts. And I want you to tell me, what are you noticing when as you jot down your thoughts? Jot down. Okay. What are you noticing? So I'm gonna let you guys do this while I drink water. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so Bilqis is noticing any more improvements. Okay, what else? So just jot down from 0 to 100, how well are you performing across these roles? Okay, so a lot of the most important roles are less than your professional role. Ooh, Mariam, yes, it's impossible to be 100% in all aspects. I love that. Okay, awesome. You can never be 100%, yes. What else? My skull looks pathetic. Don't worry, Abdurazak. I feel sad. No, don't feel sad. That's not the point of this. Not the point of this sad. Okay. All right. So the way I'm thinking about it is this way. You know how, I mean, I don't know if you guys, of course, if you do annual performance review, if you go to work for a corporate job, you have an annual performance review, your boss or your manager, if you yourself, the boss or the manager, you will basically tell your employees, or, your boss will tell you that, hey, this is how you're performing now, right? You get a 3 or 5 or 10, whatever the scoring model is in your company. And what happens at performance review now, is the point of those performance reviews to make you feel sad, right? Is it the point of these performance reviews to make you feel sad? Right? What is the point of this, corporate performance reviews that, companies do? What is the point of them? Okay. Exactly, constructive change to help you improve, exactly. So it's just to tell you, here's where I am today, right? Here's where I am today. Now, and then what your boss normally does, or your manager does, or even if you do it for employees, you say, well, where you want to be next year? What's your career track next year? If you want to get promoted, what should you do next year? And you start putting those milestones and those projects and those game plan for next year. This is the exact same thing for your life now. Now we do performance reviews for work. Imagine doing that performance review for your life. This is kind of the understanding of Umar al-Khattab when it says, "Hasibu qabla tuhasabu." He said, "Oh no, oh people, take yourself to account before you're taken to account." This is the model way of saying, you know what? How well am I performing? If I'm performing as a father, how well am I performing as a father? How well am I doing as a husband or as a wife? How well am I doing as a son or as a daughter? Now, if you took a look at this and think, oh boy, it doesn't look too good, that should be a wake-up call. It should make you feel sad. In fact, you should be happy that you've taken the time to think about this, and now it's like, well, I need to improve. I need to go to the next step. I need to upgrade myself. Remember, the next best version. This is where this thing comes in. Now, here's another thing about this roles. One thing to keep in mind, and this is what as someone mentioned, you cannot be 100% on all of them. But there is what I call, let me put it this way, it's called the minimum performance level. All right. So minimum performance level. Now think about this way. Every role you have, whether it's a father, employee, son, daughter, wife, husband, mother, there's you're expected, there's a certain performance level, minimum performance level that if you go below it, it's going to get you in trouble, right? Like husbands will know this, right? And wives will know this, and mothers will know that. Like there's a certain expectation of you to perform. Now, who sets this minimum performance level? The beautiful thing, now we don't have time to go much detail, but the beautiful thing in our deen, in Islam, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us what's the minimum performance level expected of us as a father, as a mother, as a wife, as a husband, as a son, as a daughter, as an employee, right? So what is the minimum performance level expected of me is actually asking, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expect me to perform in this role? So for example, this is why the exercise on rights and responsibilities of our family members, of our children, of our spouses, those are the discussions they have. A lot of scholars tell you the huquq of the haqq of the walidain, the haqq of the parents, the right of the children, the right of the spouse, the right of the neighbor, the right of your employer. These are all discussions. We have many discussions in the fiqh books, and you can ask your local imam, local scholar, hey, here's my situation. What Allah expects me to perform? And here's the beautiful thing. If you perform at your minimum performance level or above it, that is ihsan from you, and Allah will reward you for it. But if you perform less than this performance level, then actually that is, you're actually that's where you need to hold yourself accountable, because you'll be asked about that. So for example, let's say you are a son or a daughter, right? And your parents are very, very old, right? There is expectation that you need to improve your performance level to take care of your parents. There's expected of you, because that's where, their haqq upon you is becoming greater because they're getting older. But let's say, alhamdulillah, your parents are young and your parents are healthy. There's not much that expectation of you to take care of them, because they're very healthy. They can take care of themselves. So sometimes, but if you go above and beyond and serve them, that is ihsan from you. So the key word here is to think about what's my minimum performance level at each of my roles, and what is expected of me from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does Allah expect me? Because I don't want to do injustice to others. I don't want to not perform the right of others. I want to improve myself and upgrade my performance here. And here's a powerful thought. So you improving your performance is actually not just about you. And this is one thing about that we need to move away. We live in this individualistic society where everything is about me, myself, and I, where I need to serve myself. It's about improving myself, self-help industry, right? And I'm honestly, upgrading yourself is not about you. Upgrading yourself is about worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Upgrading yourself is about serving others. Upgrading yourself is about you being the best husband, best wife, best father, best mother, best daughter, best son for those around you to the best of your ability, while trying to maintain balance across your roles. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Or is it something? Okay, so Muzammil, great question. So is the minimum self-defined? It's not self-defined. So remember, they said you need to ask your, again, we don't have time to go through exactly, if every situation is different, but you need to ask your local scholar, like, this is what I'm performing. Am I fulfilling the haqq of my parents? Am I fulfilling the haqq of my siblings? Am I fulfilling the haqq of my children? So ask your of Imam scholar. There's a very long discussion in fiqh books on what is the haqq of others, and that's the minimum performance level. Now, it's not socially defined either. Sometimes, let's say I don't know, if someone expects you to, I don't know, some weird expectations, right? That let's say you work until you drop, or you work in not 9 to 5, you work till like 10 o'clock in the evening. If that's expectation of your employee, is that in the contract? Like, is that something that's expected in the contract from you? And how will that impact your performance across your other roles? These are discussions to have, basically, and to be clear. So that's why, Muzammil, it's not about, it's you saying, what does Allah expect me to, in this performance level? Now, let's say your wife or your father or your parents or your kids have high expectations than that. Let's say they say, oh, we want you to achieve, even high expectations. Then what will you do? You have to think, no, what does Allah want me to do? That's my performance level, because I'll be taking help account for that. Does this make sense, guys? Is this clear? Make sure that will have definitely, oh, there's a good mutual define. Mutual define, we should discuss this as well, right? So, for example, if you're sitting down with your children or with your parents and ask, what's your expectation of me as a son? What do you want me to, how can I serve you better, right? Having those discussions is powerful. It's not about saying, it's by sitting, that's the minimum Muzammil. Now, if you go above that Muzammil, that's ihsan from you. Allah will reward you for that. Just, and if you go below that, then you gotta be careful, because Allah will hold you account to that. And I hope that makes sense, inshallah. So let's move back to the presentation. Let's see if we got that presentation. All right. Okay. Can you see, you guys see the presentation? Make sure that you guys can see the presentation. Awesome. All right. So now the question is, well, Now I'm trying to design the next best version of myself. So what would that look like, right? What does that mean even? Again, if you're not very clear what it means for you, it can become very vague. In fact, it becomes this weird thing. For example, let's say I put myself, oh, I want to become a better Muslim. Like, what does that mean? I want to become healthier. Like, what does that mean? I want to become, I want to become better. I want to improve myself, from across my roles. What does that mean? Like, you have to be very clear. What does it mean exactly to, the next best version on it? For example, be very specific. Be very clear. What does the next upgrade look like? Now, how will this upgrade? Now, if you imagine if you upgraded yourself in terms of spiritual, physical, social, how will this impact your roles? What would people notice? They're like, hey, here's what's clear. It's like, what will people notice about you, right? What does people say, like, you're different, you've changed, something improved, like, you started waking up early, you started praying tahajjud these days, you've been so much nicer, you stopped losing your temper, you've lost weight. Oh, subhanAllah, I feel like you're becoming more calm these days. MashaAllah, I feel like your performance at work is improving a lot, right? What do people feel, hear, experience as you upgrade yourself? And the last question is most powerful, is who, right? Who would you want to be? And it's not what you want to achieve. Who would you want to be? Now, here's the important thing. If a lot of times when we think about the next best version of ourselves, or setting a goal setting or annual reviews, think of goals, right? I want to achieve X, Y, and Z, right? I want to, tick these things off my to-do list. But another more powerful way of thinking about these goals is actually think about of who you want to be, who you want to improve. Let me give you examples. Let's say you attend medical school, right? Let's say you attend medical school and you graduate medical school, right? Now, when you graduate medical school, are you technically a doctor? Are you technically a doctor? If you graduate medical school, are you a doctor? So that question, if you graduate from medical school, are you a doctor? Some say yes, some say no. Why you say yes, why you say no? Doctorish. Like, why you say no? Why people say no? What's the missing piece? You need to actually practice being a doctor, right? You need to actually get a license, be practicing, meet patients. So just the fact that you've done medical school, achieved that goal, does not make you a doctor. You need to actually practice. You need to actually practice being a doctor. So same thing, if you write a book, I want to write a book, does that make you a writer? No, it means that if you write one book and then you forget about writing a book after 10 years, you're not a writer, you're just a person who wrote one book. But if you write often, if you write every day, if you write articles, then you will now become a writer. If you want to become a better Muslim, or you to improve yourself spiritually, if one day I wake up and I pray 100 rak'ahs of Qiyam al-Layl, right? 100 rak'ahs of Qiyam al-Layl, does that automatically make me a better Muslim from that one action? Right? No, it means that I have to continuously improve myself. It's about who you want to be, meaning who will I grow into? How will I change? How will I improve myself, right? This is a powerful concept. It's not about, it's not a goal setting. Oh, I want to lose 10 kilograms. No, are you being a healthy lifestyle? It's not about, oh, I want to fit in this dress. No, are you always eating healthy, exercising? It's not about exactly, right? Lena, perfect. If you eat one salad, will make you healthy. Exactly. It's about saying, but if you want to become a healthier person, well, I want to become a healthy person. Well, what does that look like? What would you do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? What would you do consistently to upgrade yourself and really become this next best version? Does this make sense? This idea of who versus what, right? It's not like what, I know me. The next best version is not you achieving something off your to-do list. The next best version, if you upgrade yourself, who, right? Is that is a who do I want to be? Who will I grow into? Who will I become if I practice this next best version? What would happen? What would this shift in not just this way? I'm just trying and I just couldn't. I'm not able to memorize Quran. So one day I started with a new teacher, and the teacher said, "You are a memorizer of Quran." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I haven't memorized Quran." It's like, you are memorizing Quran, therefore you are a memorizer of Quran. But the only day you stop being a hafiz of Quran is the day you stop trying to memorize Quran. I was like, wow, I never thought of that, right? The idea that the fact that you are memorizing Quran, that means you are a hafiz of Quran. And this is, you're on a journey with my hafiz of Quran. And it's not just saying, just because you have not achieved it yet, does not mean you've not stopped. The moment you stop memorizing Quran, then yes, even those who memorize Quran, how many people memorize Quran, they forget all of it? It's because they stop memorizing Quran, they stop learning Quran. The powerful thing about that is when you say, I am now, is an ongoing process. Exactly, Rayhana, ongoing process. Who want to be, inshallah. Okay. We'll talk to Khanum right now, the how part. We'll come to that, inshallah ta'ala, the how part in a minute, inshallah ta'ala. So first I want to show these understand. So now we have this thing, what I call the intention action gap, right? The intention action gap goes like this. Who I am today, right? Like, so who I am today, and who I want to be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, next month, next year, 12 months from now. And there's a gap in between. I call it intention action gap. And you probably get the understanding, right? My intention is to be a hafiz of Quran, or my intention is to be a healthy person, or my intention is to be a better husband, or better father. My intention is to be someone who's more spiritually connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My intention is to run a successful business and to give lots in charity. But then there's an action gap, right? The how part, as Khana mentioned, the how part, like how do I close this gap between who I am today and who you want to be? So give me your thoughts. What does it mean, who you are today and how do you close this intention action gap? So who you are and who you want to be becomes one. How do you close it? And that was my excuse to get a drink of water. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so you SMART goals, okay. But let's say you have SMART goals. Yeah, but what sort of actions will you have to take? Sumaya. Monitor your goal, determination. Yeah, determination sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. We know the feeling. I'm determined not to eat donuts for a long time, but let's see how far that goes. Okay, putting a plan, but again, that's intention. You have great intentions. Donuts are great, but how will you get there? Taking the first step, interesting, okay? Work on small actions consistently, baby steps, okay? Creating a roadmap. All right, so I'm going to give you 3 ways of thinking about this intention action gap, okay? And this is sometimes, again, a way for us to realize how can we close this gap in a way that's very, very powerful. The first thing is what I call, is what you can do, okay? There are certain things that you yourself can do. These are the choices you make, the decisions you make. Am I going to eat that donut or not? Am I going to, not get angry at my spouse and children or not? Am I going to get up and pray or not? Am I going to eat healthy or not? Am I going to start working my business or not? Am I going to start writing my next book or not? Am I going to, wake up for Fajr or not? It's making those choices, right? The choices you make, what you can do, the choices you make within yourself. Now, here's the thing. There's only certain things that you can do. But sometimes if you want to close the gap between who you are today and who you want to be, there's something else that happens. It's what your environment does to you. Now, who can give me examples of sometimes how your environment can actually either stop you or help you close the gap between who you are today and who you want to be? right? So what is about the environment? Give me examples of how the environment can help you close the gap in who you are today and who you want to be. Give me an example of that. So think about environment. What sort of environment? We're talking about environment. What examples of environment? Okay, so example, okay, so environment technology. Sometimes, if the home has loads of treats in it, your friends, your family, outside pressures, the weather, right? Social media, right? Sometimes society itself does not support you. Family to support. So people in general, people, right? People around you kind of having that influence over you. And they can support in good ways and bad ways. Sometimes it could be, the environment could be even things you consume, whether it's consuming the food you eat, right? Sometimes impacts who you are. How many times you want to become super productive one day and you had this big, massive, unhealthy breakfast or big, massive, unhealthy dinner, and you're just knocked out. You're like, I'm done. I can't work the rest of the day because I just had like, I don't know, three, four major cupcakes, something else with it, basically. So, what you hear and watch, Sarah, excellent, exactly. Personally, I've stopped watching TV and I've stopped listening to the radio. Honestly, and again, I'm not going to go into fiqh, halal, haram, all that stuff. But the reason why I've stopped that, I've deleted, all my social media accounts from my phone. Why? Because I'm very conscious of what I consume. Because what I consume will actually impact the way I think and may impact me closing the gap who I am, who I want to be. So basically, traffic jams, right? Not being able to sleep early. So what's your environment? So here you need to think about. Sometimes there's a great book came out recently. I'm going to type it up here. It says, it's called Willpower Doesn't Work. Let me see if I can type it up. Willpower Doesn't Work. If someone can find the link on Amazon Post, would be great. So Willpower Doesn't Work by Benjamin Hardy talks about the idea that sometimes we rely a lot on what we can do, right? A lot of us we said that I want to make sure that I want to get up early. I want to eat healthy. I want to use all my willpower. But remember that sometimes the environment does impact you. So be very, very conscious of your environment. Some things you can change about your environment, right? Sometimes you can change your environment. For example, you can change maybe not listening to certain things. You can change what you have on your phone. You can change, for example, in terms of, let's say, maybe taking a different route from work so you don't hit the traffic jam or leaving early. So sometimes you can change, but some things you cannot change. You cannot change your family. You cannot change your children. You cannot maybe change, meaning that they are who they are, that Allah has given to you. The work is work with that environment. For example, I always say, use the example of Nuh alayhi salam. Think of Nuh alayhi salam. He tried so hard with his people, 950 years, calling his people towards believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his environment just refused. In fact, his own son and his own wife refused. So think about this, the environment that he had to go through, but that was his environment and he worked through it. But it's not, he didn't give up on his environment. Having said that, there are stories in the seerah as well. For example, that man who killed 100 people. And when he went to a scholar and said, should I, will Allah forgive me? The scholar said to him, Allah will forgive you, but you have to move to a different land. You have to change your environment because that will help you become a better person. So being very conscious of your environment and just taking a stock. So what I want you to think now is not just, okay, what can I do to improve myself and to upgrade myself, but also think, what's in my environment? Maybe I've tried so hard to lose weight, but I realize, what? I come home and there's dessert every night. Maybe I've tried so hard to improve, but I've tried so hard to get myself next level, but my friends are just not helping me. My work's not helping me. So being very conscious of your environment. Now there is a third level though. So the stuff you can do, the stuff your environment does to you, but there is another level. What's that ultimate level that actually closes the gap in who you are and who you want to be? What's that next level? This is going to be like the ultimate level, inshallah. So stuff you can do, the stuff in the environment does to you. Boom, Omar, exactly. Divine permission.
Here are matches
divine permission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowing you to close the gap between who you are today and who you want to be. Right? And this is extremely powerful. And again, sometimes, as Muslims, we forget this, where we get into this whole rah, self-help. Yeah, I could do it, me, myself, and I can close the gap. I can achieve it, right? Motivational videos, hustle culture, kill yourself. But we forget that ultimately Allah is in control. Now, some people think, look at this, oh man, that means that I cannot control Allah. It does to me. Well, here's the powerful thing. Prophet Muhammad taught us, لا يرد القدر إلا الدعاء. That divine intervention is not taken back except with dua. So actually, even something as big and something you think like, I cannot control what Allah allows you to do, That's where dua comes in. You have the tool. Allah's giving you the tool to allow to be pray. Basically, you can pray and ask Him, Allah, help me close the gap from who I am to who I want to be. Help me become that writer. Help me become that better father and mother. Help me become that better parent. Help me become that better son. Help me become more spiritual. Help me improve who I am. Allah, help me, help me, help me. And in fact, you actually be making this dua every single day in your salah, 17 times a day minimum. You say, Ihdina as-sirata mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path. That's you saying, Allah, help me improve myself, help me change, make me of those who you have blessed, who I want to be, change who I want to be. That is what closes the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Is this clear? Is this clear? There's stuff that you can do, and we cannot deny that. You still have to make choices. There's stuff you have to be conscious of, your environment, how it influences you. But ultimately, remember, be clear that Allah's permission is what's most powerful, most important to help you close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Is this clear, guys? Does this make sense? Make sure that, exactly. Self-awareness is the game, absolutely. Yes, awesome. All right. So this is where these three things comes together, and now you understand the framework that we're building here at Productive Muslim, because one of the ways to improve yourself, right? One of the ways to start consciously, consistently improve yourself is the science of productivity. This is what I've been obsessed about for the past 10 years. Since 2007, I've been writing and talking about this idea of productivity, but from a faith perspective. It's about balancing how does our spirituality and our peak performance science help us make those choices on a daily basis to improve ourselves and upgrade ourselves. So the formula, for those who read the book will know, the formula that I use for productivity is that, if we think about productivity as how much energy we have, how much focus we have, and how much time we have. If you think about these three pillars, this is the three pillars that are in your, that you can manage yourself to help you upgrade yourself. So for example, if you want to be a better father or a better mother or a better daughter or son, any role of your life, you need to think about what's my energy level and how can I improve my energy level? What do you need to focus on in terms of this role, just a son, daughter, father, mother, even focus on, and how would I use my time appropriately to improve, upgrade myself in that role? Right. So think about any role that you're trying to improve yourself in, and say, I need to increase my energy level. I need to increase my focus for this role. I need to increase my time that I spend on this role. If you do those three things, make those choices between those three, energy, focus, and time, you'll find yourself upgrading yourself. Give me any role. If you want to become healthy, if you want to become a better parent, if you want to become a better Muslim, or become better, any role, think about from energy, focus, and time. What's the energy level required for me to become better at this? What's the focus level required and what I need to focus on? What's the time that is required to actually improve myself? You need these three elements. And if you bring these three elements together, that's when you start upgrading yourself. A lot of us, what happens is that we don't want to spend any energy, we don't focus on it, and we don't want to spend any time to upgrade ourselves. You want to memorize Quran, we don't want to spend any energy, we want to spend any focus, and we're too busy to memorize Quran. You want to become a better parent, you don't want to spend too much energy. I'm too tired from work. I don't want to spend focus on my children, and I don't want to spend time with them because I want to do other things, and hence we struggle. But the moment you start energy, focus, and time, energy, focus, and time, energy, focus, and time, that's how you improve yourself and make it better. Now, we'll talk about the plus or minus or multiplication, but the idea, does this make sense? The idea is that if you improve your energy, focus time. Now, here's the thing. If any of these are not working, let's say if energy is zero, or if your time and focus is zero, or you have no time, which is zero, then this whole thing collapses, right? That's why it's not plus, it's multiplied, because if any of this is zero, if energy is zero, then the whole equation falls apart. If your focus is zero, if your time is zero, then this whole equation falls apart. That's why you put multiplication versus plus, and this is, is to make you realize that these are dependent on each other. You need all three elements. If any of this is low, then the other parts will not be as high. You need both energy, focus, and time, and these three together help you become the better version of yourself. So in other words, productivity is all about making the smart choices on a continuous level. Every day is like, okay, if I want to upgrade myself spiritually, I got to wake up early. I got to focus on my Quran. I want to spend at least half an hour reciting Quran. I want to improve myself physically. That means I want to basically spend some energy. I have to actually go and exercise. I have to spend some focus. I have to be very conscious of what I eat. And I spend some time maybe in the gym to improve, to improve myself health-wise. I want to improve myself on a family, my parenting, or my relationship with my wife or my kids. I got to spend some energy. I got to spend some focus. I got to spend some time. So it's all about making smart choices on a continuous level to help you have energy, focus, and time. Does this make sense, guys? Is it making sense, everybody? Making sure you're making the smart choices, energy focused time, so to improving yourself. Awesome. All right. So here's the framework that we're building right now. So the framework is this. You need to make smart choices with your energy, your focus, and your time so that you can live the best version of yourself. So again, not the best, we should put here the next best version of yourself, right? Because it's about that little upgrade for yourself. So that, and this is a powerful thing. It's not about you doing this so that you can say, oh, look at me, mashallah, I'm so spiritual, or I'm so physically fit, or I'm so socially amazing. No. What is our ultimate purpose? What is our ultimate purpose? Come on, guys, what is our ultimate purpose? Bismillah. Akhirah, what else? What does that, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? To worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our ultimate purpose, right? We are here created as His abd, as His slaves. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We are here as His slaves. So for you to live the best version of yourself, that is part of you being a slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We think worship means salah, fasting, hajj. No. Ibadah is every word or deed that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the fact that you're improving yourself on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on a social level, improving relationships, improving those who are, that is ultimately purpose. That is how to achieve Allah's power, permission, to Allah's pleasure, and Allah's rida on the day of judgment, and inshallah also in this world. So it's about making those smart choices, focus energy and time to live the best version of yourself so that you can fulfill the role of being an abd, fulfill the role of being a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here's the thing, this house needs a foundation. What's the foundation of this house? Who can guess? What's the foundation of this house? Absolutely, Muhammad. Again, it depends on intention. This is the foundation. What's the foundation of this house? Something very powerful. I just mentioned right now. The foundation is intention. Absolutely, Sumaya. That's the most important part. The idea is that if you don't have the right intentions, if you're not sincere, right? Imagine if you're not sincere about improving yourself. If you're not sincere, that's why I asked at the beginning of this call. How many of you are serious about changing themselves? How many are serious about upgrading yourself? If you think, yeah, inshallah, I'll see. Oh yeah, I should be better. Oh yeah, maybe I should be healthy. Maybe I should be more spiritual. Yeah, maybe I should be a better father, or son, or daughter. But we're not sincere. Sincere means I really, really, really mean this. Like there is no turning back from this. This has to work. I have to. And Allah, I guess this is a beautiful part. When Allah kind of sees that intention, two things happen. He will help you. And also, if la samahullah, you failed along the way. Let's say you tried to improve yourself, but maybe you failed or you died or something happened. Allah will reward you for that intention. This is the beautiful thing about our deen. It rewards us for our intentions. This is powerful. This is powerful, right? So, and again, don't let shaitan play with your head. Oh, I'm insincere, I'm not sincere. You just, if you want something, if you keep on doing, be sincere. It might take you a long time to achieve that sincerity, doing for Allah, but don't let it stop you. Even let's say, for example, you want to become, let's say, memorize the Quran, or you're trying to become praying tahajjud, you're trying to improve yourself physically, spiritually, whatever rule, and you know that you're doing it for yourself, really. That shouldn't stop you. Start and keep on reminding yourself, well, who am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? Ask Allah. Again, remember, divine permission. Ask Allah for permission to help you to be sincere. That's sometimes we have to ask Allah more often, right? We need to turn Allah, help me achieve the divine permission. Exactly. Worship Allah as if we see Him, right? That's the power of this. Self-development, self-improvement should be, we as Muslims, we should be the forefront of these. It's called self-help industry. It should not be self-help. It's actually worship. It's about us being the best human beings, achieving our full potential. We say, Allah, guide us to a straight path. Guide us those who you have blessed. Be the best version of yourself across all your roles. But you gotta make those decisions. You gotta ask Allah for permission. You gotta be conscious of the environment, and you gotta be sincere and hard work. Does this make sense, everybody? Does this make sense? Make sure intention check. Okay, good. All right, so I want to make sure that I leave you with some tools, because I'm going to come close to the hour. I'm going to make sure that I need some tools to take from here, inshallah. So we have what is called Productive Muslim Tools, which I'm going to walk you through in detail so you know exactly what it is. These are full worksheets that I want you to download for free. I'm not going to charge you. Download for free, and I want you to start use it to design the next best version of yourself. So here's how it goes. Let me just stop this sharing here, and then I will. Oops. Here we go. All right, let's do this way. Okay, so let me know when you guys can see the screen. Can you see the screen now? Make sure you can see the screen. It's like a, can you see the screen? Awesome. All right. So we have these 4 planners. They're basically, one is more of a weekly planner, one is a daily planner, one is more goal setting, one is more called the habit development. So these planners, the first one is called, let me start off with, hold on. All right, let me start with the goal setting, the kind of the bigger one. So the first one is, can you guys see now? Can you all see? Make sure it's all see. Yes, okay. So the first one is called the goal setting worksheet. And this is what I like about this goal setting worksheet is it kind of helps you think in terms of 3-month goals. But there's 3 sections. The first section is trying to understand what's my purpose in life. Now, purpose in life does not mean, okay, I want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not what I mean by purpose in life. What I want you to think about is, what ultimately is my specific purpose? Like, why did Allah create me for this purpose? Like, what is my specific purpose? Now, for those of you inside our academy, we go in detail how this is set up, but what's my specific purpose in this life? And what does that look like? That's why vision, what does that look like? And then the question is, what roles do I currently hold? And what are my most important 3 values that I have? Now, this will become much clearer. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go into details about these 4 sections, but it will become much more clear if you join our life, we have a life goals class inside our academy. But purpose, your vision, your roles, and your values. Then this translates into, in 28 years' time, where do I see myself? Who do I want to grow myself into in 10 years' time, 5 years' time, 2 years' time? And then you start figuring out, well, for each of my roles, spiritual, physical, home, social, work, school, what are the SMART goals got to achieve? And what are the stretch goals, kind of difficult goals? What are the obstacles I might face? And what's the way around this obstacle? So kind of thinking along those goals as well. This worksheet, it's going to help you rethink, just, kind of puts your orientation around very, very, very powerfully. Now, once you know what your 3-month goal is, one of the things I encourage you to do is think about your habits and routines that will help you achieve those goals. So what are those spiritual habits that you will do? Let's say your 3-month goal is to memorize 2 juz, or your 3-month goal is to become a better father, or your 3-month goal is to become a better, to improve yourself, next best upgrade in terms of losing X number of weight, for example. So what would that look like? What habit or routine will you do spiritually, physically, socially to help you achieve that? And you're going to give yourself a score every week. And your idea is to get at least 5 out of 7 for that week. Now, every week you start to ask yourself, well, have these habits become automatic for me? What have I learned? What am I committing to next week? So you start playing with that until you get the habits and routines. Think of habits and routines are like the autopilot mode to help you get to where you want to get to very, very clearly. Now, weekly planner is basically for each week now, and I use this personally for planning my week. Okay, what are my 3-month goal? So if I know my 3-month goal from this worksheet, I'll come back to, well, what are my 3-month goal again? Just make sure I'm clear: spiritual, physical, social, work, school. Now, based on those 3-month goals, what are my most important tasks this week? And what are others that need to be done? And then at the end of the week, I'll think about what went well this week, what didn't go well this week, and what can I improve? And finally, on a daily basis, you ask yourself, how can I be the best version of myself spiritually, physically, socially? What are my most important tasks for today? And then you block time out for your calendar and you start reflecting. At the end of the day, at the bottom there, you give yourself a score from 1 to 10. How well have I lived the best version of myself? Again, the next best version of yourself. These are 4 tools, right? These are 4 tools that really makes you very powerful. You can download for free from Productive Muslim, and really it's going to be powerful. Now, you can use this. You can print these, personally, we don't have journals, but you can just print them and start using them. What I know, after a while, you'll get the idea of these worksheets and you'll use your personal journal. Like people use bullet journaling or stuff like that. That's also work as well. But you can actually incorporate the same concepts inside your normal journal that you use, your daily planner. I personally, stuff like that, now I don't refer to as worksheet anymore because I already have in the back of my mind thinking spiritual, physical, social work and how to get that as well and shot down. Alrighty, so let me do this now. Let me go back to my screen before I forget. Other one. Okay, so alrighty, so make sure that you can see my screen now. Oh God, we got 5 minutes. Okay. I gotta get out of this room in the library in 5 minutes. So make sure I got that. Okay, can you see my screen now? Awesome. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So So what I want you to do, while I go over the kind of end the goal, and also when you ask your questions, is what did you learn today? Just from this 1 hour webinar, what did you learn today that you found like this was useful? This is really helpful. This is something that I can take moving forward, inshallah. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as you type in how to plan. What else? What did you learn today? That you felt like this was, a new way to look at your life. Okay. What else? Best user existence, close intention action gap, the planners. Okay. What else? Being better version of bad, intention action gap. Okay. Make peace with yourself. Exactly. Next best version. All right. Investment. Okay. Continue to struggle. Use your time. Understand why you're failing. Excellent. Performance level. Be more realistic. Excellent. Awesome. Versions exist. Yes. Bit by bit. Always making dua. Powerful. All right. So here's the thing. I mean, first of all, again, I want to make sure that you guys are I want to say thank you for ACC for actually hosting. Honestly, they did this. I didn't do it in terms of they made me sure they had this website. So I want to make sure you thank them, you thank ACC team, and you do support any way you can. If you can donate, that's great. If you can apply, it's great. If you want to open a ACC chapter in your wherever you're in the world, please email them. And the email is actually ACC Educate, not Educate. And of course, if you want to mentor some of the students who are going this program, please do support them. And secondly, I want you to make sure that you download the free planners. This is kind of my kind of gift to all of you. Download the free planners, use them, and really make full use of them, inshallah. I really want to make sure that you do use them, make the most out of them, and make them happen, inshallah. So now we have about 4 minutes for Q&A. So unfortunately, I can't keep long. So give me 4 minutes. What if you're burning questions? If you're like, I need to answer those questions. Okay. So I think Ranis, you mentioned about the daily routine of Rasul Sallam. That is actually that's actually in our website. Just type the daily routine of Rasul. You'll find the article. In terms of whether they'll send the recordings, the resources, these are the resources, the free planners, as well as, the resource we use the free planners in terms of, make sure that you, whether they'll send the recording or not. I'll ask ACC, I'm not sure they'll send the recording or not, inshallah. Your minimum maximum level. So again, as I ask your local scholar about your minimum level, what does Allah expect you from your role as a Muslim, as a father, as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife? That's very important. And then again, the daily routine, I've already answered that as well. So this is good. This is done here. Make sure that I answer all of them. Okay. Alrighty. How to minimize laziness. So again, laziness laziness is a symptom, right? Laziness is a symptom. So think about lazy. Why am I lazy? What's driving my laziness? Sometimes it's actually because you don't care about the work you do. Sometimes because you don't have a big enough goal. Sometimes you don't have, because it's an emotional. Lazy is actually an emotional response. So be conscious about that, inshallah. Okay. So these are some of the questions are very, very generic. I want to make sure that you ask your questions, to be very, very specific. When do you fill a weekly daily planner? So weekly planner, I'll fill it on Sundays normally, or the day before the week starts, and daily planners either in the evening or in the morning. So those are the make sense of that. Okay. Measure energy levels. Honestly, give yourself a score from 1 to 10. How energetic you feel from 1 to 10. If you're very low energy, put 1. Very high energy, 10. Inshallah. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, so I again want to show that I don't take too much time. If you are interested, again, I hope this was useful. I hope this was practical as much as I can. I try to share as much as within 1 hour. I try to stuff as much as I can in 1 hour, but hopefully that this is useful and practical, inshallah. Check out this free planners, download those free planners. And for those of you interested, we do have a 6-week program. We do a masterclass called the Productive Muslim Masterclass. If you want, you can go with a thick 6-week program where I go into much more detail from a faith perspective, from a peak performance perspective, talk about spiritual level, physical level, social level. It's a complete course, end-to-end course. Check out, if you just drop an email, you see an email, Mohammed@productivemuslim.com, drop me an email and I'll give you a $100 discount for that masterclass. If you attend this live webinar, and I appreciate you watching this till the end, so I want you to drop me an email at Mohammed@productivemuslim.com. I'll give you a $100 discount towards that masterclass. It's a 6-week program. Alhamdulillah, we had about over 90 students gone through that masterclass and the graduate masterclass, and we learned a lot from the masterclass. So if you want to take this much more deeper, then please join for that, inshallah. With that, I want to say thank you. Jazakumullah khair. I really, really appreciate you guys coming online. You guys have been great, asking a lot of good questions and just being very dynamic. So I hope this was found useful. Thank you again to ACC for hosting inshallah ta'ala. I ask Allah ta'ala to help you and to make this, to help ACC grow and become much more better inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. I ask Allah ta'ala to bless all of us to live a life full of barakah and ihsan and to be true abid, true worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma hamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.